Hello, my name is John Ratzlaff. This is for FTT100, week 8. And this is our final project here. Um, Before we start, I do have a Remington 700 in front of us. I'm going to just pick this weapon up, show you that it's clear. We'll do that here real quick. So we're going to pick the weapon up, sure it's pointed in a safe direction. I'm going to lift up the bolt handle here, observe there's no ammunition inside of the chamber. Also do a physical check really quick. Ride that bolt forward. I'm going to relieve the spring tension on the trigger. So I like to do personally. So here is this is a Remington 700 Police, or Remington 700P. It's chambered in 308, has a 24-inch barrel. The action itself has a G code receiver, and with that being said, that serial number and the G code itself started from 2002 to 2011, and then it's a little bit hard to show you here on camera, however, but on the barrel, on this side, I do apologize, but on this side, just so you know what I'm looking at or where to look on yours, is going to have a date stamp code on there, and mine is WF, which is going to be August of 2011. The Remington 700 is a bolt action rifle. Very simple. Its feeding mechanism for this one specifically, it can either just be single loaded or it has a box blind magazine. This one currently is not set up for detachable magazine itself. So real quick here, do just want to describe those the cycle of operations. So again, we already made sure this weapon was clear, but feeding, we'd either have rounds inside of it. We'd pull this bolt back. It's going to wind up feeding. It's chambering. At this point, it's going to be locking, and then we're going to fire. And at this point, it's going to be pulling the bolt back up, and then we have the unlocking, the extracting, and then we'll also wind up having the ejecting as well. And then starts back up with the caulking. Real quick here, do just want to go over a few things. Now I also want to just describe. So we need to just disassemble or do like a field strip just to go over that here really quick with you. For a bolt action rifle, it's pretty simple, but we're really just going to wind up taking the bolt out. And on this Remington 700, you're going to wind up pulling the bolt back as far as you can, and in front of the trigger is going to be your bolt latch release. And by pushing that, you can actually make sure that the bolt comes out here completely. At this point, we'd wind up going into like our cleaning, and biggest thing on this one, just wind up making sure this one already is cleaned here, but I know the instructions are saying to go over the cleaning process itself. So wind up just cleaning this bolt. The manual has a few different just points on the bolt to just lubricate a little bit. I like to put just a little bit of grease on it too. Don't like to get the bolt crazy oily or anything like that, and this is our main group here, so this is just going to be the bolt. Obviously it has firing pin and everything inside of it. Field strip, we do not take that apart. And then, like we've done previously, I like to put a bore guide into the action itself. And then you'll take the cleaning rod, and we would take the cleaning rod and we'd put in a wet patch. I like to just use Hops number 9. I haven't tried out the stuff that SDI has sent yet, but I will wind up getting to that and a few other of my firearms itself and give those a try. But anyways, so the cleaning process, have the bore guide in there. We end up putting our wet patch with our cleaning solvent through, run it all the way through the barrel, and then I like to just go ahead and take it off. I don't ever want to pull that thing back. Once that's complete, then you can take a wire brush. Our teachings have told us to use the wire brush, and that's what we're going to go off of. But there's a lot of speculation. Some people don't like to do that, but that's what we've been told, so that's what we're going to do. And then once you have your cleaning patch through, and then you have your brush ran through, then you're going to just continue to put patches through that until that thing is actually clean. At this point in time, you can definitely wind up getting some Q-tips, which Q-tips are obviously our best friend when it comes to cleaning. You can clean down inside of the chamber if there's anything, um, and then you can actually take this detachable magazine, or the box, not the detachable magazine, but the box blind down. You can take this apart and clean that if you'd like. But that's really it for your field stripping in and of itself. And then really quick, just to go back and make sure that we have a properly, put back together firearm. Obviously, we have to do a functions check. So bolts in place there. I'm going to place this weapon on safe. It's not firing. I'm going to put it to fire, pull the trigger, and that weapon is firing. Means that we've demonstrated or described how to clean, field strip, and clean, and then we did make sure that we did a functions check as well here. So real quick, I also would like to just go over the fact that a lot of guns you will want to, or you might need to look up like a weapon schematic or a way to wind up knowing your user's manual. For me, I have a few different ones. This is actually the most recent revision as of uh, March of 2021, but this is going to be the owner's manual for this firearm. Remington 700s have actually had this for quite some time, but they just keep revising it every few years, or honestly, when things change hands, or when Remington's bought by different companies. But they'll go through just basically everything we've described, or it'll show you can adjust some of their triggers. It's actually really neat. So they had like the X Mark Pro triggers, and there was a whole debacle of like recalls and it being able to honestly essentially slam fire, the trigger would just disengage. And there was open recalls. I do have one firearm, another 700 that's chambered in 223 that I still actually have that trigger, had no issues with. But one thing to know that if you are getting a new Remington 700 anytime soon, they actually are putting Timney triggers from the factory, Remingtons from the factory with Timney. They have done a collab now. So that's just kind of a little tidbit of information. But hey, I just want to say thanks again. Greatly appreciate the course and the class. Uh, I have definitely learned a whole bunch, and thankful to be on this journey here with SDI. So thanks much. Have a good one. Bye.